Chutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam Krishna Damodharam Vasudevam Bhaje.
So, Jai Gurudev, fellow bhaktas and devotees of Guruji, it was such a beautiful Christmas and New Year celebration with Swami, Guruji here at the center over this period. And so much has come out. We had the Bhakti Academy, which took place on the 30th of December, and everyone who attended said how beautiful it was. So I would suggest and I would urge you, there's going to be many Bhakti Academy courses around the world now through the various Swamis in your countries. I would suggest, if you have an opportunity, that you go and attend one of these courses. It's all about broadening your knowledge to be able to serve and talk about Guruji more. And people often ask me, how do you describe Guruji? If you meet somebody, they always want to know, how do you describe Guruji? How can you describe Guruji to somebody else? And for me, what I always say to people is, Guruji is the experience of how love changes everything. That's what he is. That's all he gives us. That experience of how love changes everything. And this morning when I was with him, I was having a long conversation with him, and he ended up laughing at me because we were having a long conversation about how is the depth with which we love God. And it all comes down to the experiences that we have had that show us what is possible with the depth of how much we can love God. Because we have blockages in place for ourselves. Our minds put blockages in places for us that stops us from knowing how far and how truly deep we can go to love and serve God. And when I was speaking to him this morning, he was saying some very beautiful things about this, that we ourselves stop ourselves from knowing just how much the depth is that we can actually love God and how close we can be to God. And as I said to you in the beginning, when people ask me, how do you describe Guruji to people? And I simply say, he is the experience of how love changes everything. But what is that experience? This is why he was laughing at me this morning, because I said to him, wow, I've just understood something very beautiful, that the experience is that you give us moment by moment, you change the depth, inch by inch, millimeter by millimeter, of what we know is possible to love God. This is the most beautiful thing that you give us. You show us every inch of the way, through every single experience that we have with you, just how deep we can actually love God. And every time he does that for us, he changes the perception inside of us about what is possible, how close we can be to God, how much we can love God. And for me, I know as a bhakta, when he says, I need you to do this or serve like this, I don't actually worry, is this bringing me closer to God, or is any of this stuff? I just go and do the service to him. And I know it's like that for many of the devotees. And while he was laughing at me, and he said, you're very funny. He was with a big smile on his face. And I said, in truth, yes, because when we're serving you, we don't think about this kind of stuff. We just go out and do what we're supposed to do in order to serve you. So remember this, when you first met Guruji, how much did you think it was possible from your perception to be able to love God and be with God, to where you are now? And that is purely Guruji's experience for us. He's not about the teaching so much, but he's about the experiences that he gives us to show the depth of what is possible within this life if we trust him and we have faith in him. When you trust him and surrender to him, you see that anything is possible. So I wish you all a beautiful time. And 2016 is looking to be a very amazing year for Bhakti Marga and the devotees of Guruji. I really urge you to to get involved with the service for him and for Bhakti Marga. Show your love to him, show your appreciation for the experiences that he's given you to open up your heart to more greater depth of love for him and for God. So have a wonderful 2016, and hopefully we'll see you soon at Sri Pita Nilai. Jai Gurudev.